Good morning and welcome to Fast Horses Today. Today is Thursday. It is December 26th, and December 26th we know is opening day at Santa Anita. And always a really, really wonderful day over there. Definitely a historic event. As I always say, during the Christmas season, the kids wait for Santa Claus and the adults wait for Santa Anita. So let's get started over at Santa Anita today for opening day. Got some horses that I like here today with a couple win bets, and then I'm also going to have a late pick 5 ticket. So Santa Anita starts a little earlier today than they usually would. So it's 1 o'clock post time is the first race here in the Central Time Zone, 11 o'clock there in the Pacific Time Zone. So I'm going to skip over the first couple races. I'm going to go to the fourth race. I have a win bet that I'm going to make on the one horse who is Stop Digging. And that's a California allowance race, 6.5 furlongs. And Stop Digging, trained by Simon Callahan, who I've kind of bagged on Simon Callahan over the year, which good reason. He doesn't win that often with some really nice stock that he receives. But we're going to see, this is a new year for the California racing calendar. We'll see if Simon Callahan gets off the new year quickly. He puts Flavian Pratt on the horse, who is always a good thing, moves horses up. This horse is 5-2. I think Pratt can make the difference here and giving this horse a better trip and Stop Digging getting it done. 5-2 in the program. We'll take that all day if we can get it. All right, now let's move over to the seventh race of the day. Seventh race of the day is the start of the late pick 5, and the seventh race does have an approximate post time of 4 o'clock here Central Time, so 2 o'clock there in the Pacific Time Zone. Seventh race being 1 1/8 on the grass. That's the San Gabriel. So it's $200,000 race, 3-year-olds and up, grade 2. I know we've got the big favorite in here with Johannes, who he definitely deserves to be that. But I'm going to put a few horses in here to try to get this pick 5 started off with maybe a price. We're going to put the one horse who is Astronomer, Simon Callahan trainer. Now this horse, I've always liked this horse. I caught this horse back some time ago. Actually, it's in the bottom of his past performances. It was such a long time ago. Ryan Moore rode this horse to the winner's circle in the Qatar Golden Mile at Del Mar during Breeders' Cup weekend in 2021. This horse was 30-1 that day and created a really nice day for me. So this horse certainly has shown up with some nice efforts, and we'll see. 12-1. We'll put Kimura gets on board the horse today. We'll see if Astronomer can get it done. Get this pick 5 started with a price. Going to also put the 2 horse who is Easter for Phil D'Amato. Easter has certainly done some good work in Southern California at Santa Anita with 2 wins there out of 5 starts. Now he's gotten beaten by Johannes 3 times this past year, and Johannes was just really on a roll, and nothing against Johannes. Certainly he's done great this year. We'll see if Easter maybe could turn the tables. Sometimes they cook it up early. If they did, this horse will be coming late. Freysus 6-1, we'll put him in. Going to put the 4 horse who is Johannes for Tim Yakteen. What more can we say about him? This horse 6 for 6 at Santa Anita, so certainly loves the Santa Anita grass. Has won at different distances. Rispoli's been on this horse pretty much, most of his career. This horse really, just was on a roll this past spring and summer. And, finish it off with a second place finish in the Breeders' Cup Turf Mile. So that, was just a great, great effort there by him. Getting beat by More Than Looks, who was just outstanding that day. So, tells me, Johannes, being a Southern California turf horse, took on some of the best and really ran well. So it shows his worth and shows his quality. Going to also put the 9 horse, who is Seal Team. Seal Team for Richard Mandela, Flavian Pratt. This horse 8-1. He's done some nice work at Santa Anita as well, winning 2 starts out of 3. 2 of his 3 starts there. 8-1, Flavian Pratt, certainly a dangerous proposition. So we're going to try and start this pick 5 out with the 1, 2, 4, and 9. All right, now let's move over to the next race of the day. Next race being the 8th race. 8th race, the highlight, well, there are a lot of highlights on today's card, but this is one of them. This is the Grade 1 Malibu, and this is 7 furlongs, on the dirt, for 3-year-olds only. One of the more historic races on the Southern California calendar, and always a fixture on the opening day program at Santa Anita. So it always gets some of the nicest horses we've seen have run in this race and done well. It's always a big race. That's why it's Grade 1. They put together a nice field here. We have the Kentucky Derby winner, Mystic Dan, shipping in. That's wonderful to see. Some other nice horses here. But I've got a single that I like, really my best play of the day, that being the 1 horse, Ben Tornado. Ben Tornado comes over from the Jose D'Angelo barn, and Luis Saez takes the call. Now, this horse started out his career back last year in the Florida series of 2-year-old races. They run this series of stakes races, which we've seen some nice horses come out of that series. This horse certainly dominated there, winning the first four of them, and then ended up getting beat at a mile and a 16th. So, I'm not sure this horse wants to run long, and that's probably, what looks like the case. But this is 7 furlongs. I think he certainly can do this. It's probably, what his limit would be, I'm sure, to at a maximum effort. So they thought so much of this horse. They took this horse over to Saudi Arabia, put this horse in the Saudi Derby, which that's a mile race. That's a 1-turn race. So, similar configuration what they're running now. And this horse ran really well. He ended up running third to Forever Young and Bookham Dano. And we saw how good Forever Young was. He probably should have won the Kentucky Derby. Bookham Dano certainly has done very well here in the States after he came back there. He'd won some stakes races, and Benchinato came third to them. So I really like what D'Angelo did after that. He gave this horse a long break after the Saudi Derby excursion. He ended up bringing this horse back in August at Charlestown in one of their big stake racing day. And this horse ended up coming second that day in a 7-furlong race. And you might say, Charlestown, how does that translate? Well, that race was a tough race. And this horse ran really tough that day. So he ended up getting beaten by a horse named Valentine Candy, that's a Steve Asmussen horse, who was definitely an accomplished horse. He's won some stakes races over at Oaklawn earlier this year, good horse. And I just liked the way Benchinato fought and ran so well off a long layoff. He followed that up with a big race in the Gallant Bob. Now, the Gallant Bob's a grade 2. That's a big purse they run over there at Parks. They run that on, I think that's on Pennsylvania Derby Day, but that's one of the bigger 3-year-old sprints, and it's later in the year. They get a nice field there. And this horse ended up winning that day. He was the favorite. He was even money. He got it done in a tough trip. So it just shows me what a fighter this horse is. And then, he comes to fight again. Comes to fight again in the Breeders' Cup Sprint over at Del Mar last month. And, wow, he really almost upset the apple cart at 28-1. Ended up beating the whole field, and he just gotten beat by Straight No Chaser, who really ran lights out that day. Ended up beating him a half length. But, Luis Saez really got the best out of this horse, and what an effort that day. Again, this horse showed me what a fighter he is. So, really, the only question here is, Saez, working out a trip from the 1 hole. I think he can do it. 7 furlongs, it's not a bad spot. There's 8 horses in the race, so it's not a lot of traffic there. I think this horse, should really, show his best today. He shows a great work at Santa Anita. They brought this horse in early. He worked out on the 19th of December. Bullet work. Shows me this horse probably feeling great. Should be ready to go today in the Grade 1 Malibu. All right, now let's move over to the next race. Next race being the 9th race. This is the Mathis Mile. Grade 2, mile on the grass for 3-year-olds. Another nice race. You're getting 3-year-olds running on the grass in a graded stake. I've got 3 horses here, including the favorite. I've got the 1 who is King of Gosford for Phil D'Amato. King of Gosford shown an affinity for the Santa Anita grass, has run really well down the hill, but has also shown great efforts at 2 turns. So mile should be no problem here. This horse is 6-5 with good reason. Flavian Pratt takes the call, so we'll put him in. Going to also put the 2 horse who is a Tischlan for John Sheriffs. Now, I thought John Sheriffs was retiring. I thought there was reports there. So I don't know if he is at the end of the year. Maybe he's training today. I don't know. But a Tischlan is certainly a horse that has knocked around with the 3-year-old graded stakes races over there in California and done well, including a win in the Twilight Derby, which is at Santa Anita. It's a grade 2. Hector Barrios takes the call. Hector's been riding this horse for a while now. He certainly knows the horse and, could work out a nice trip, 8-1. Then I'm also going to put the 5 horse, who is Stay Hot for Peter Urton. Now, horse definitely has also knocked around in the 3-year-old graded stakes races over there in California. Frey Sue had been riding this horse. They switch over to Juan Hernandez. So, it's certainly not a bad switch there. This horse, has run well at Del Mar, has run well at Santa Anita. 3 of his 5 wins are at Santa Anita, so this horse certainly likes the course. 7-2, Juan Hernandez. All right, now let's move over to the next race of the day. Next race being the 10th race. This is a La Brea. This is 7 furlongs in the dirt for 3-year-old fillies. Another grade 1. And they put together a really nice field for this race as well. So, this is the female version. So you got the Malibu for the boys and the La Brea for the girls. A great pairing there. So kudos to Santa Anita for putting together a really nice field. Very competitive field. I don't have a strong opinion. I put 5 horses in here, to try to get this pick 5 going. And we'll start out here with the 3, who is Kinza for Bob Baffert. She started her career 3 for 3. She gets John Velasquez on her today. Now, I don't know if Velasquez is going to be a regular rider at Santa Anita this winter. He certainly has done that in the past and, has done well for Bob Baffert. But, this horse, we'll give her a chance. She comes off a long layoff, coming in second in the Santa Anita Oaks, which is a grade 2. That's a big race there. She ended up getting beat by... I think that was her stablemate, Nothing Like You. So it looked like, something went amiss that day. We haven't seen her since, but, been training nicely, and this horse shows some nice quality. So we'll put her in here at 8-1. That's Kinza. And I also put the 7 horse, who is One Magic Filly, for Phil D'Amato, Flavian Pratt on the board. Now this horse has had a nice year, had coming out of some live races, running with Hope Road, and we'll talk about Hope Road momentarily. She's also in this race. She got beat by Hope Road in a very, very live race. A lot of the horses came out of that race running very well, including One Magic Filly, who went on to win 3 races. So this horse is 4-1. Flavian Pratt. She took on Older and Santa Anita back in the fall, ended up winning the Grade 3 Chillingworth. So that's a really nice race. She's back in with 3-year-olds. And, we'll see if she could put together a nice effort here. That's the 7, One Magic Filly. Going to also put the 9 horse, who is Hope Road, for Bob Baffert. Now, Hope Road has had a great year, being 4 for 4 this year. Last year, she started out her career. She ran up against Tamara, who was just a true monster as a 2-year-old. We'll talk momentarily about Tamara because she's in this race as well. But Hope Road ended up taking a break, coming back, about 10-month layoff there over at Santa Anita, breaking her maiden, and then moved on to Del Mar, winning stakes races, greatest stakes races at Del Mar twice. So she ended up running a mile the last couple times, which, she shortens up to 7. That should certainly suit her very well, shortening from a mile to 7 furlongs. 3-1 with Juan Hernandez. Hope Road will put her in there. All right, let's move over to the 10th, who is Tamara. Tamara, as we mentioned, boy, did she start out as a real monster. She won her first 2 races last year at Del Mar, breaking her maiden very stylishly, and then ended up a very stylish maiden break. And then she followed that up with a big win in the Grade 1 Del Mar debutante, which is always a great accomplishment to win that Grade 1 debutante. She was a big favorite in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, but something went amiss that day. So she was up there close, ended up fading back. Something, as I mentioned, went amiss because we didn't see her for a long, long time. She had about a year off. They brought her over to Del Mar last month, and she ended up coming second to Sandy Bottom in a sprint race. So Sandy Bottom's also in this race. I don't know, I just thought that was probably a comeback race for Mandela, for Tamara. And if she won, she won. Great. If she didn't, we're going to have her ready for Grade 1 La Brea. So she's 8-1 today. Mike Smith takes the call again, as he's been on her every time. At 8-1, don't want to throw out Tamara, going to put her in there. Then finally going to put in the 11 Cavalieri for Bob Baffert. He's got several in it, as I mentioned here. Now this horse, she's 2 for 2. She's won 2 times at a mile. Once at Del Mar, she broke her maiden, and she followed that up with a nice allowance win at a mile. So she shortens up too. She's got the 11 hole, 10-1 in the program here. I like the fact she's shortening up. She's shown a propensity to win. She's 2 for 2. And, maybe it'll be kind of a stalk trip, and we'll see. Maybe they cook it up early, and that 7th furlong might do in some of these, and maybe we'll see Cavalieri running up, at the end. So we've got the 3, 7, 9, 10, and 11. All right, now let's cap off the day here with the 11th race. This is the end of the day here, and this is a Grade 1, the American Oaks, at 1.25 miles for 3-year-old fillies on the grass. This has approximate post time about 6:12 here Central Time, so 4:12 there Pacific Time. So the Grade 1 American Oaks has always been a very nice race over there in Southern California. It originated at Hollywood Park and moved over to Santa Anita, and several years ago they moved it to their opening day card, which really, really works out nicely. So we've got a nice field of horses here. We've got a nice program favorite, which I will talk about momentarily, but I'm going to put in 3 horses here. The thought is hopefully have a nice live ticket, hopefully hitting that single of Ben Tornado in the 8th race and having 3 horses to pay off would be a nice spot. So I'm going to put the 3, who is Medoro for Peter Urton. Now Medoro really what came out of her stall running. I mean, she won her first 4 races and just was lights out. What a runner she was. She ended up running over at Del Mar and not winning there. Ended up running up into Ice Cream You Scream, who was really good there this past summer. So the question with Medoro is I don't know that she wants to go this long, but she does show so much ability and so much class that you never know. I'll trust that Peter Urton knows what's up, and he puts her in at 1.25 miles, so maybe she's been training like she wants to do it. And, frankly, I wouldn't want to see Maduro beat me out of a pick 5 when I've liked this horse so much in the past. She's 6-1 today. So we'll put Maduro in there. I'm going to also put the 4 horse was Kathy and Marissa for Richard Dutrow. Now, Dutrow had horses at Santa Anita last year, so it looks like he's bringing horses back again this year and going to have a winter home at Santa Anita. So we've got Frankie Dettori on the horse, and I really hope Dettori is going to be riding at Santa Anita this winter regularly. I know he's done it the last couple winter meetings, and and he's liked it there, and it's a real treat to have Frankie Dettori in the saddle and riding races at Santa Anita. So Dettori has ridden this horse for 2 out of her 3 wins, so he certainly knows her. She's run at different tracks and run well, including Santa Anita. She's 1 for 2 there with a 3rd place finish, so she knows the Santa Anita Oval and has done well. I don't think distance is a problem for her. She's won at 1 1/8 at Churchill Downs, and then run very well at Saratoga at 1 3/16 in the Saratoga Invitational, which is always a big race on the turf there. And then finally ran really well at 1 5/16 with Frankie Dettori at Kentucky Downs. So certainly distance should be no problem for her. She's 4-1. We'll put Kathy and Marissa in. And then finally going to put in the favorite, who is absolutely deserving to be a favorite. That's the 8 horse, who is She Feels Pretty, for Cherie DeVoe. And Cherie DeVoe training for the Lael Stables. And if you remember Lael Stables, they were the owners of Barbaro and some other very, very nice horses. So they've been in the game a long time. And Cherie DeVoe, has this horse, and boy, she's such a nice trainer. She's done so well with her stock. She gets nice horses and she delivers with them. So she's just a really, really fine trainer. Good to see her bringing one over to California. I like to see more of her there. So Velasquez takes the call. Now, I mentioned Velasquez is riding there today. I don't know if he's going to be regular there or if it's just today for the big stake. So, boy, this horse's last race in the Queen Elizabeth Cup, the Grade 1 Queen Elizabeth Cup over at Keeneland, she just ran lights out that day. She ended up running 1 1/8 and winning by 6 lengths, and looks like she could have won by more probably. I mean, you just don't see turf horses running in Grade 1s winning by open lengths like that. So it just showed her massive ability. Velasquez has been on her for all of her wins, so he certainly knows her. She's run well at different tracks. 7-5, no secret there. Going to put her in, and if she gets it capped off with a pick 5, wonderful. If one of the long shots wins, we get a bigger price. We'll take that too. So we've got the 3, 4, and the 8 there to cap off the pick 5. So let's cap off the day and cap off the tickets. Okay, so for Santa Anita today, opening day, December 26th. Got a couple win bets, and we also got a late pick 5. So the win bets in the 4th race. Win bet on the 1, Stop Digging. Let's move over to the 7th race, which starts the late pick 5. We've got the 1, 2, 4, 9 with the 1 single. That's Ben Tornado in the Malibu. With the 1, 2, 5 with the 3, 7, 9, 10, 11 with the 3, 4, and 8. Now that's a $90 ticket today in the pick 5. And then we got the win bets in the 4th race, Stop Digging, and the 8th race, Ben Tornado. So as always, if you see fit, play the ticket as is. If you want to add or subtract, you do what fits you well. If you want to play the pick 3s within it, you want to make the win bets. Whatever you decide to do, I wish you the best of luck today. Let's get some great trips at Santa Anita. Great trips should result in wins for us. And let's wish the folks over at Santa Anita a great, safe day of racing for their opening day. So as always, I ask you to do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost you anything. Just puts you on the feed when new content gets created. It gets served up to you. Like, dislike, make comments. I promise to respond to everything. Let's create a discussion. As always, thank you so much for watching Fast Horses today. I wish you again the best of luck. Let's start out this meet strong at Santa Anita, the great race place, opening day, December 26th. Thank you very much.